What's going on, investors? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Jason, and in today's episode, I want to talk to you guys about my favorite Bitcoin mining stock, and that stock is Cleanspark. I currently own around 1,700 shares of Cleanspark. I trade a lot of options on Cleanspark. I sell so many covered calls and puts, and I'm absolutely crushing it with all the gains we're getting because there's a lot of volatility with this stock. I don't suggest you start trading options on Cleanspark right away. I've taken years and years to get this strategy down pat, and I'm doing really well with it. We currently own, like I said, 1,700 shares, and I love Bitcoin, but I think there's more money to be made in the Bitcoin miners than Bitcoin right now. I think Cleanspark can go from $15 to $30 a lot quicker than Bitcoin can go to $55,000 to $110,000. That's why I love this stock. So what I'm going to do for you today is break down the fundamentals of this stock, where I think this stock could go in the next 12, 24, 36 months, and give you my thoughts on the Bitcoin mining space as we continue this bull run. All right, guys, thanks so much for tuning into this content. Let's get into it. Before we get into the fundamentals of Cleanspark, I want to talk to you guys about Bitcoin a little bit. So Bitcoin's absolutely ripping today. So that's why I kind of want to talk about Cleanspark stock. All right, it's up almost $1,100 right now. It's been trading in that $55,000 to $60,000 range over the past few months. Bitcoin's down about 17% over the last 3 months. It peaked in May around $71,000 per Bitcoin, but it's kind of been trading in this range. Like I said, 56. It dipped down to 55,000. And I did a video the other day, a little short, talking about I think around $55,000 is a good entry point. With all these spot Bitcoin ETFs, I think Bitcoin has a floor. I don't think we're going to see that dramatic slide from like 50 to 55,000 down to like 25,000 or 20,000. I don't think we're going to get cut in half. Could we see Bitcoin go into the 40s? 100%. There's a ton of volatility, but now a lot of different countries are buying Bitcoin. Germany just sold like a ton of Bitcoin, but it didn't really affect the Bitcoin price at all whatsoever. And people are willing to buy the dips on Bitcoin. So that's why I think a floor is in that $40,000 to $45,000 range over the next year. And we could even see peaks in the next 12, 24, 36 months. We could go over 70,000 again and potentially rip to like 80 to 85,000 in the next 12 to 24 months, in my opinion. All right, now let's talk a little bit more about Cleanspark, and I want to show you what they're doing on a monthly basis. Cleanspark is my favorite American Bitcoin miner, and real quick, I want to go over their monthly mining report. This past month, Cleanspark exceeded 20 exahash per second in hash rate. 1.7 of that coming from the closing of 5 new sites in Georgia. And this is super important because recently there was the Bitcoin halving, so now it takes twice as much energy to mine a single Bitcoin. So the higher the hash rate, the more Bitcoin the company can mine. Here we go with June's Bitcoin mining report ending 6/30/2024. This past month, they mined 445 Bitcoin. 6,591 Bitcoins are on their balance sheet. They hit an exahash rate of 20.4, 22.31 joules per terahash, and 152,505 deployed Bitcoin mining machines. Here's a recent quote from CEO Zach Bradford. Surpassing 20 exahashes in operational hash rate is more than double our hash rate from December. Doubling our hash rate takes grit and teamwork, and our growth is a testament to the dedication of our teams. While our peers are exploring other avenues of income, we're laser focused on delivering results and increasing our Bitcoin mining hash rate and associated revenues. All right, everybody, let's take a closer look at Cleanspark stock. We're trading around $16 per share right now. The past 3 months, the stock is trading pretty flat, which is good if you want to sell covered calls, right? Because you can get a ton of premium with a little bit of risk, but you never know when this stock is going to pop up huge and you could get your shares caught away. So you want to make sure you have enough shares if you're trading on margin. All right, year to date, the stock is up 26%, which is really good. But boom, look at 1 year. up over 140%. So is this stock still a buy? If you follow my channel, you would have got the advice to potentially buy this stock in the $4 range back in the summer of last year. I was telling you guys, this is a great price for a very undervalued company, and the stock has exploded. If you want these kind of stock tips, you got to make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. We're just over 1,000 subscribers, but we want to keep growing this community so we can get you guys some of the best stock picks in the market, right? From $4. At one point, the stock was trading at $23, which is absolutely insane. Let's move on to the fundamentals. Cleanspark is only recently a profitable company, so you can't necessarily look at traditional metrics in order to value this stock, right? The market cap's around $3.5 billion right here. It does have a really low float with the amount of shares that are available for people to buy, so that's why there's these violent swings on the upside and the downside. The PE ratio at 122, it's too new of a profitable company to look at the PE ratio, but they're earning around 13 cents per year in EPS, so that's around 3 cents per quarter, which is not too bad for this recently new profitable company. The 1-year target is around 26 bucks, almost a double up from where the stock is trading right now, under $16. The one year estimate, around 27 bucks is not too bad. Let's just go look at the statistics, because I want to show you guys something that's really important for these newer companies, right? Enterprise value and market cap are about the same right now. I wouldn't really look at the PE ratio and the price to sales and price to book right now in these enterprise values. The company is too newly profitable to look at these metrics. The profit margin at 22% is great. Operating margin trailing 12 months, 124%, which is really good. Return on assets at 4% and return on equity at 7% is just okay. But the thing I really want to show you guys, because when you have a young company, you want to really look at the balance sheet. They have around $320 million in cash, and this doesn't count the amount of Bitcoin they're holding on their balance sheet, which is pretty substantial right now, guys. So $320 million in cash and only $13 million in debt, which is great, right? And these are the trailing 12-month numbers and cash flow statement, around a negative $125 million, but they're recently profitable, so these numbers will continue to improve quarter after quarter, because the last 2 quarters they've been profitable, and they'll bump out these losses as we move forward. But I can't express how valuable it is for this young company to have cash on their balance sheet and all that Bitcoin and only $13 million in debt, guys, which is great. It's really, really, really good, right? So the short interest is a little high at 16%, but shorts can get blown out really, really quick. You have to have a lot of balls to short a stock like Cleanspark. Because if you were shorting in the $4 range, the $10 range, you got absolutely destroyed on your shorts. I would never, ever in a million years short a Bitcoin stock, because there are potential great rewards, but the risk to me far outweighs the rewards. I'm not trying to get my account absolutely blown up. I'm trading covered calls, but I own the shares, so the worst thing that could happen, I have to sell my shares at whatever price I'm selling the covered calls at. Do not short this stock, guys, unless you want to get your account completely wrecked. Could we see Cleanspark go back into the $10 range? Absolutely, but I'm not betting on that at all whatsoever. I'm not shorting this. But with the great balance sheet, only $13 million in debt is absolutely insane. So that's why I really love Cleanspark stock. Next, guys, I want to take you to Simply Wall Street. It's one of my favorite websites. If you sign up, you get to analyze like 5 companies for free each and every month. And if you want, they have a payment plan where you can like get all their information. It's a pretty good website. I use it occasionally. So they think Cleanspark is trading 72.9% below our estimated value. So if you go down to share price versus fair value, the current stock price is trading between $15 and $16, and they have the fair value around $55 per share for Cleanspark, which is crazy to me, man. That's considerable upside. I always like to check the ownership too and see insider transactions. Not great, not a ton of insider selling, but enough that a lot of people are selling and not a lot of people are buying. So you have to take that into consideration. And I also always like to look at the ownership breakdown. It's almost even. The general public currently owns 52.8% of the stock, and institutions own around 44.5%. You always want to see institutions owning more than the general public because that will kind of stabilize the stock price a little bit, right? Here are the top shareholders of Cleanspark stock. Leading the way is BlackRock and Vanguard. They own almost 12% of Cleanspark stock, right? And they're increasing the amount that they own. BlackRock up 28%, Vanguard up 58%, but one of their top holders, Dimensional Fund Advisors, down 15%, Invesco Capital down 41%. So it's a little bit of a mixed bag here. JP Morgan bought a ton. They increased their ownership by 3,800%. So they're buying a lot, but it's a mixed bag. Some are getting out with the recent run up, some are adding to their position. So it's a little bit of a mixed bag. But I think the valuation is really undervalued right now. Simply Wall Street and their discounted cash flow model fair values them around $55 per share. They're trading at 15. So take with that what you want. I think Cleanspark is undervalued, and that's why I'm slowly adding to my position on these pullbacks. All right, investors, I hope you enjoyed this video on Cleanspark stock. There is some risk with this stock, but I think the rewards could potentially be huge. That's why it's one of my favorite and largest positions in my current portfolio. If you guys have any questions about Cleanspark or Bitcoin, make sure you leave them in the comments below. And if you like this kind of content, please consider subscribing to the channel. I want to continue to grow our community more and more. I'm here to help you guys the best that I can. So if you have any questions about anything, leave them in the comments. I cover SoFi stock and all kinds of other stocks on this channel. So thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll catch you on the next video. Peace.